We're indoors in Houston, Texas, where the Mets and the Astros will square off in the first game of this three-game series. Hello again, everybody. I'm Fran Healy, along with Rusty Staub. We'll be bringing you the play-by-play as Sports Channel presents New York Mets baseball. Now, speaking of the New York Mets, there are some players who are hot, Mr. Staub.
Well, by the grace of God, that's one of the good things that's been happening for the Mets. Orsulak at 455, Phenia 405, Bronya 379, and really some production there, some home runs, some good RBIs. It's been the bright part of the offense. They have to be encouraged by what they see there because really the team has kept coming back. They've really offensively kept plugging.
Well, last night winning that ball game in New York against the Montreal Expos. Now, the story here in Houston, there's a player who was red hot all last year. Right now, he's cold.
Well, he's ice cold. You can see he was the MVP last year, hitting 156, only 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, which really in this short abbreviated beginning of the season doesn't sound like it's terrible, but it really is at that 156 average because he has done nothing. He's coming off the ball. He's trying to hit too many home runs. He's going for the 8-run homer right now.
Well, the Mets hope that Bagwell stays very cold till they get out of town. Now, a surprise in the lineup tonight? I guess it's a surprise for the Mets.
Well, again, one of those little insignificant moves that the Mets made that no one paid attention to. Chris Jones is going to be in the lineup playing left field tonight, and he has done a good job so far in the opening part of the season down in the minor leagues, and they're going to give him a chance to play. So
it'll be the Mets and the Astros coming to you from the Houston Astrodome in Houston, Texas. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll give you tonight's starting lineups.
Sports Channel in May springs ahead with great sports for you. Scott Stevens and the Devils have big goals in mind when they charge into the NHL playoffs. The Mets throw it in high gear in 14 exclusive games against Bonds and the Giants, Division Foe Atlanta, the Dodgers, Reds, Astros, and Expos. Tune in for Game Time a half hour before the game for sports news and much more. Halls of Fame profiles Warren Spahn. Thoroughbred action moves to Belmont for the spring meet. It's all coming your way in May on Sports Channel.
Bob Papa, the Sports Authority Game Time Studios, the Mets and Houston Astros. We send it down to the Astrodome for all the play-by-play with Fran Healy and Rusty Staub. Guys?
Okay, Bob, just a few moments. It'll be the start of the game between the Astros and the Mets. With that in mind, we'll take a look at the Mets batting order brought to you by Tri-State Jeep Dealers. For the New York Mets, there it is, Brett Butler, to be followed by Jose Vizcaíno, who was removed from the game late in the game last night. That's an interesting story. We'll talk about that later on. Then Rico Bronya, the middle three, Bobby Bonilla, Joe Orsulak, and Edgardo Alfonzo. And the bottom three, Todd Hundley, Chris Jones, and then Bobby Jones.
And the pitching stats are brought to you by Starter. You see Shane Reynolds, a 1-1 record, a 3.29 earned run average. It's his 4th start of the season. 13 2/3 innings, given up a lot of hits, 18. Has not walked a batter and has struck out 11.
And a defense is brought to you by the Postal Service. For the Astros, Bagwell, Biggio, 2 Gold Glove winners from '94. Miller and Magadan in the infield. Left to right in the outfield, Gonzalez, Bell, and Plantier. Service behind the plate. And the umpires in tonight's ball game, Larry Van Over behind the plate, Bruce Fromming at first base, at second base Jerry Crawford, and Angel Hernandez over at third base. So we're set to go. Brett Butler steps in to lead it off for the Mets. Butler batting .355, no home runs, 3 RBIs. Butler puts the ball in play, but in foul territory. So it's 0-1 on Brett Butler. Butler, a guy with decent speed, not blazing speed, although one of the toughest to double up in the National League in '94, hit into only 2 double plays. He takes a strike there, so it's 0-2 on Brett Butler.
He's one of the best at getting out of the batter's box. He has that slashing swing that he hits the ball the other way and is almost on his way to first base as soon as he makes contact sometimes. That's why it's difficult for those double plays.
And there it is right there. He slaps the ball to first, and it's a foot race, but Butler loses to Reynolds, so 1 down.
Well, if Reynolds had hesitated too much, he would have run in a lot of trouble. As we just said, Butler gets out of that box very well. Close play at first base.
So as I mentioned, Butler hitting into only 2 double plays last year. The toughest to double up in the National League last year was Ray Langford. He did not hit into a double play in '94. We're looking at Jose Vizcaino, batting .269, 1 home run, 7 RBIs. I mentioned he was pulled out of the ball game last night by his manager, Dallas Green. Do you think Dallas was trying to send a message to Jose?
Well, I think very definitely, Francis, he was sending a message. He didn't like the way Jose played the balls in the game that Franco gave up the lead. It certainly seemed that way. He was making a point of taking him out for defense.
First pitch from Reynolds is outside.
You know, a player can take that constructively and go about his business and think. You got to pre-think plays in the infield. We talked about that in the game last night. Franco throws a lot of grub worms. That pitch misses, and a lot of those choppers off the home plate and off the mud, if there's a fast runner, you have to play a little more shallow as a shortstop. It's just second grade, second semester.
Well, here's the 2-0 pitch, and the fastball nips the inside part of the plate. 2-1 on Jose Vizcaino. Shane Reynolds, the right-hander on the mound for the Astros, has always started, even in the minor leagues, as the 4th and 5th pitcher on the teams he played on. He misses inside, 3-1. But every year he worked his way up to be the #1 pitcher on the team.
Well, there's one thing. He doesn't overpower anybody with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but he throws strikes.
And there's a strike, 3-2. He has a fastball, curve, slider, and a split-finger fastball. His best pitch is his control.
His control, getting ahead of the hitters, and then being able to go to that split finger, which has been the reason why he's been able to take the big step up to the big leagues.
There's a line drive to left field. Gonzalez is there, makes the grab, 2 down. Our first look at the Astros here in '95. They have some talent. They're very high on this right-hander because of the way he has improved every year. Right now he'll take on Rico Brogna. Brogna batting .352. 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, and he's becoming a favorite at Shea Stadium in New York. From Watertown, Connecticut. He takes down low, 1-0.
Besides the fact that he's a pretty nice young man, when you hit and you pick it, you get fans. And he deserves them because he has done just that since he's joined this ball club. Terrific glove and just powered the ball.
There's that split finger fastball Rusty was talking about. It's 1-1 on Brogna. Ironically, in this ball game, the 3rd hitter for the Mets is from Connecticut, and the 3rd hitter for the Astros, Jeff Bagwell, also grew up in Connecticut. 1-1 pitch is inside. 2-1.
Reynolds is the epitome of he will pitch well if he's ahead of the hitters. And if he doesn't and he's got to come with that fastball, he's going to be in trouble. If he gets ahead and uses that splitter.
There's the fastball fouled off. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Rico Brogna. If you have not been notified, Carl Everett was sent to the minor leagues last night.
It really got to where he was struggling so bad, he really wasn't making any contact.
I think it bothered Dallas Green more than Carl Everett, although I guess maybe not, but they were both on the same page. Swung on and missed, strike 3 to Rico Brogna. Split finger fastball from Reynolds. So the Mets go quietly here in the first, 3 up, 3 down. Go to the bottom of the first inning. No score here at the Dome. You're looking at the manager of the Houston Astros, Terry Collins, and his lineup is brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealers. Greg Biggio will lead it off. He'll be followed by Luis Gonzalez and then Jeff Bagwell. The middle 3, Derek Bell, Dave Magadan, and Phil Plantier. The bottom 3, Scott Service, Orlando Miller, and Shane Reynolds.
And again, the pitching stats are brought to you by starter Bobby Jones on the mound for the New York Mets. A 2-1 record, a 2.28 earned run average. That's good for 6th in the National League. This is game start number 5 for Bobby. In 27 2/3 innings, he's given up 24 hits, walked only 3, and struck out 12.
We're going give you the defense after the first batter. He's a good one, Craig. Biggio. Biggio led the National League in steals last year with 39. Batting .265, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, was an All-American at Seton Hall. First pitch is a fastball up high, ball 1. Three of the last 4 years, Biggio was an all-star in the National League as he fouls the fastball off, 1-1. As I mentioned, an All-American out of Seton Hall. John Valentin with the Red Sox having a fine year, Seton Hall kid. Mo Vaughn voted the baseball player of the decade from Seton Hall. Best baseball player of the decade in their league. Inside to Biggio, 2-1. Biggio, of course, did the job as a catcher, was switched to second base. Since the switch, he stole 92 bases. There's a strike, 2-2. Good move by Bob Watson and the Astros to move him to second base. And he hits this ball down the left field line. This is extra bases for Biggio. And he glides into second base with a stand-up double. And here's the defensive lineup for the Mets, brought to you by United States Postal Service. Bronya, Alfonso, Vizcaino, and Bonilla in the infield. Jones, Butler, and Orsulak in the outfield. That's Chris Jones in left field. Behind the plate, Hundley. As you know, Bobby Jones is on the mound. He's on the mound. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Craig Biggio on second base. And Luis Gonzalez steps in. Spray hitter. 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. Batting .269. Takes outside. 1-0.
We'll see how Gonzalez plays this situation. You want to get that runner to third base with less than 2 outs. You don't want to concede and give yourself up, but you see him down on the handle, finger off the bottom of the bat.
Hits the ball hard to the right side. Short hops Alfonso at second base, but he makes the flip to first in time. So 1 man gone, Biggio holding his ground.
Well, that's a case where he hit it so hard and it was so close to being caught on the fly by Alfonso that Biggio had to hold. So he hit it hard to the right side and the runner had to stay at second.
So Biggio on second. The batter now will be the 1994 National League MVP. He got all 28 first place votes, the 11th Major League player and 3rd National Leaguer to be unanimous choice for the MVP award. Jeff Bagwell. He takes a strike. He has been struggling. He's batting .156.
Well,
2 home runs, 9 RBIs.
Really spread out right now, isn't he? That's even more so than last year. Really spread out.
He's hoping yesterday helped him out getting a day off. Fouls the ball out of play. Bob Watson told us on the pregame show that he feels after Bagwell, there's Watts, after Bagwell signed that big contract, he figured he had to produce and produce and produce.
Well, sometimes you get really messed up. You don't know how to get out of it. He took the first fastball right down the chute. You don't know why you don't pull the trigger on a ball like that.
0-2 on Jeff Bagwell. Biggio with the jump off second, but they nail him at third base. Nice throw by Todd Hundley. Quick release and a strong arm got Biggio.
Biggio made a really bad mistake there. You want to be aggressive. Takes himself right off the base. Let's watch Hundley's footwork. Can't hardly even see it. One quick release right there. Bonilla is the glove right there. He's got it all over him.
That was a great shot of Bonilla watching Biggio at second base. Misses outside. 2-2. Bonilla was watching Biggio as he broke, not watching the ball heading towards the plate. And as soon as Biggio broke, Bobby headed to third. Gave Todd Hundley a good target to shoot at. It's a 2-2 pitch. Oh boy. That was a good pitcher's pitch right there. So it's 3-2. Maybe Bagwell's luck will change.
Bobby Jones is not hoping for that.
and he threw him a nasty pitcher's pitch, 3-2, striking out Jeff Bagwell. So the Astros failed to score here in the bottom of the first. We played one at the Dome. No score, the Mets and the Astros. Bobby Bo will lead it off for the Mets as we go to the top of the second inning. He has a 13-game hitting streak, batting .347 so far here in 95. He has 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. He's playing third base tonight. He's been moving around third base, first base, although I think Dallas is starting to think about Rico Brogna against all left-handed pitchers. Swung and a miss, strike one.
And with Edgardo Alfonso, if he continues to perform as he has, the thought has to cross Dallas's mind about Bobby Bonilla going back to the outfield.
Yes. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Good curveball. 0-2. Bonilla will be followed by Orsulak and then Alfonso. Bonilla goes down swinging. 1 out. Reynolds' second strikeout. We've talked about Reynolds' first pitch is his best pitch, the strike.
Right fielder, number 6.
Get that split-fingered fastball going for you. People are trying to make sure that the fastball is at a certain height so they don't swing at that pitch as the bottom falls out. You just throw that quick snapping fastball, you get it right by somebody now and then.
And Joe Orsulak, the Mets right fielder, steps in batting .406, no home runs, 9 RBIs. He's been hot. This should be an easy play. Reynolds to Bagwell. 2 down. Folks, this break in the action ought to be a great time to break for the great taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up and never let you down, so make it a Bud Light.
Second baseman, number 13, and Alfonso.
This young man here has been swinging a hot bat. Last night, a big base hit. He fell behind an account, hit a ground ball up the middle, driving in 2 key runs for the Mets. The Mets went on to win 5-3 over the Expos. We had him on a post-game show. 21 years old, Edgardo Alfonso takes a strike on a fastball from Shane Reynolds. After the interview last night, he's one of the few players that turned to us and asked for a copy of the interview.
Yeah?
Yeah. Shouldn't say one of the few. We've had a number of guys ask, but this year, 0-2 on Edgardo Alfonso.
Well, it was a terrific hit by a young man trying to prove himself, not only to himself, but to his teammates and his manager. It's a big leg up.
The 0-2 pitch, good curveball. Alfonso hits on top of it. Maggot in the first in time. So the Mets go quietly here in the second. Fail to score. We played 1.5. No score. New York at Houston.
Sports Channel has Game Time.
Game Time has Bob Papa.
Bob Papa has the scores,
The highlights.
the updates.
Game Time has
Peter,
Mike, and Stan.
It's a pre-game show.
It's the source for scores and info.
That's the time.
For the Sports Authority Game Time. Only on Sports Channel.
Well, some of the improvements here at the Astrodome, Houston, Texas. Video arcade. Rusty was down there prior to the game. And we have the flowers. We have.
I'm big on the
fountain.
flowers. The fountain they can have, and the arcade they can kind of roll on down the road.
Well, you know,
But those flowers are attractive.
well, no, well, that just goes to show you, Rusty, you don't know your flowers. Did you ever hear the song "Artificial Flowers"?
Okay.
They are artificial flowers.
Well, I'm sure it would be very difficult for them not to be.
Oh, who sang "Artificial Flowers"?
That's not one of my fortes either.
Bobby Darin. Derek Bell steps in and takes down low ball 1. Bell will be followed by Dave Maganin and then Phil Plantier.
I like Bobby Darin a lot. He was
Oh,
a great baseball fan, too.
A terrific singer. Outside, 2-0, Bobby Darin from New York. The 2-0 pitch. Bell fouls the ball off. 2-1. Bob Watson told me before the ball game that big trade they made with the San Diego Padres. This is Bob, general manager with the Astros. This is the guy he really wanted, Derek Bell. Wanted his power in the middle of the lineup. Well, he's got it. Bell pulls the ball foul. Bell is very strong.
The Astros have really struggled scoring here at home. They've only scored 14 runs in the 6 games they've had here. That's why their record at home has been so poor, 1-5.
Well, they're 1 game over 500 altogether because of Jeff Bagwell struggling as Bell singles up the middle. So they have their leadoff man on here in the 2nd inning. Bell was batting .343 prior to that at bat.
See that wide open stance of Bell's. Hardly picks that foot up. Just lets it fly. Little turn of the shoulders gets it started for him.
2 years ago with the Padres, Bell hit 21 home runs. Last year he hit 14 with the Padres. Here's a familiar face, Dave Magnan. Check Bell at first base.
Magnan has had 15 walks already this year. His on-base percentage is .443. The toughest thing for him is that in that third base slot, he has never really produced enough RBIs. Third base and first base, they've got to drive some runs in.
Bob Watson initially went after Sid Bream. Bream's agent wanted too much money, so he turned around, called Magnan, and he said, "This is what I have." Dave took it. He might take over the third base job here with the Astros. He's playing well. They have a young player in the minor leagues, Phil Nevin. He was a #1 draft pick a couple years ago. He's got about 5 home runs in AAA. He fell into disfavor this year with the Astros because he wouldn't train with the replacement players. So Watson sent him to AAA. Outside to Magnan, 1-1. Matt Galante, All-American from St. John's University, third base coach at the Astros. I should say All-American baseball player. St. John's known for their terrific basketball program also. 1-1 on Magnan. Derek Bell leading off first base. Outside, 2-1. Yeah, Dave Magnan had to wait for his opportunity with the Mets. Keith Hernandez was the first baseman. Dave couldn't slip in there. When he finally did, they wanted him to be another Keith Hernandez. Played third base. As Rusty mentioned, didn't hit with power and was criticized for that. Up high. 3-1. Hundley going out to talk to Bobby Jones. You know, I was talking about Dallas Green earlier and had a chance to talk to Dallas. I asked him what was the most difficult thing for him in baseball in all of his jobs, general manager, coach, farm director, player. He said, releasing a player.
That is tough.
Toughest decision. And then he get into the conversation about having to tell Carl Everett last night he was going back to the minor leagues. He said that was very, very tough. He said Carl didn't say much. There goes Bell, and the pitch is up high to Magnan. So the Astros have 2 runners on here in the 2nd inning. And nobody out. It'll bring to the plate a guy who swings the bat a whole lot differently than Bob Watson and Rusty Staub, Phil Plantier. Rusty and Bob Watson always wanted to put that ball in play if they could with authority. Phil Plantier would like to hit the ball over the moon. He has a wild swing.
He doesn't exactly cut back after 2 strikes.
He's batting .256. 4 home runs, 11 RBIs. And he takes a strike. Originally came up with the Boston Red Sox. Had some trouble with the Red Sox. They traded him to the Padres. Had a fine season last year with the Padres, but finds himself here in Houston. Down low, 1-1. You wonder what type of an effect his swing has on Bob Watson's reaction to his ability. Hundley wants to give the sign over again to Bobby Jones. See? Let me give you this sign again. Usually when there's a mix-up in signs, it's when somebody is on second base.
They change the signs. Make sure that the runner at second base doesn't get an opportunity to relay to the hitter. If you just do 1, 2, 3, they can pick that up pretty easily. So they use indicators and rubs and different ways to try to hide those signs.
Plantier takes that big swing, pops the ball up shallow center field. Butler coming in, Vizcaino going back, and shortstop makes the grab. 1 down.
Well, he chased the ball out of the strike zone. Did Bobby Jones a favor.
Number 9, Scott Service.
Talked about that wild swing. He's down on that crouch. Boy, he tries to get that ball. It's way up in the strike zone. Does not get there.
Bob Watson, the general manager of the Astros.
Trying to soothe his stomach right now with a little ice cream. I like that thinking.
Watts could chew. He could work with us.
Yes, he could.
Scott Service, the batter. He takes up high a fastball. Ball 1. You see his stats right now. He's got to do something to impress Bob Watson and Terry Collins, and he won't be the #1 catcher with this ball club. The Astros 9-8 on the season. They're expecting a lot more from this team. Fastball called strike. 1-1. The Astros used to have Ed Taubency, who's now a member of the Cincinnati Reds. They traded Kenny Lofton to get him from the Indians a few years back. Line drive foul. 1-2 on Scott Service.
The other catcher is Tony Eusebio.
He's been red hot.
He also had a fine season last year, hitting .296 in the 55 games he participated in. So I guess you can say Scott is looking over his shoulder a little bit.
Eusebio's been around the Astros organization for a while, but he's starting to deliver offensively and defensively. Service behind on that fastball. So it's 1-2 on the Astro catcher.
He had his hat on like he's ready to come out.
Yes, he's ready. He wants to get in there and do some catching. And the 1-2 pitch hit off the end of the bat. Alfonso makes the play to second, over to first, not in time. So Edgardo Alfonso nails Dave Magadan at second base.
Well, he takes that little backhanded flip. Vizcaino grabs it barehanded. Good hustle by Service. He avoided the double play.
So 2 minutes gone here in the bottom of the second inning. And the batter, Orlando Miller. And he hits a ground ball to Alfonso. That'll do it for the Astros. Here in the second inning, they strand a runner. They fail to score. We've played 2 here at the Dome in Houston. No score, the Mets and the Astros.
Baseball is a game where a curve is an throw ball can be a pitch or a person. Stealing is legal, and you can spit anywhere you like, except in the umpire's eye or on the ball.
Well, folks, this copyrighted telecast is authorized under television rights granted by the New York Mets solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Mets and Sports Channel is prohibited. Todd Hundley, who was out here early this afternoon taking extra batting practice, leads it off for the Mets. He'll be followed by the new man, Chris Jones, playing left field tonight for the Mets, and then the pitcher, Bobby Jones. No score, top of the third. There's that first pitch strike.
You got a guy with a good split-fingered fastball. You don't want the fastballs to get by you. You want to hit him.
And the 0-1 pitch, breaking ball. Called strike by home plate umpire Larry Vanover.
He's got a couple of pitches. Doesn't have to worry about anything. Throw that split finger anytime he wants. There it is.
And the 0-2 pitch.
Ooh.
Inside, 1-2.
That was not it. When you split the fingers like that, I thought that meant the splitter. He gave him a regular 1, then he gave him a 2. That was the curveball. Guess that means hard up and in because that's what it was.
Well, just think about it. If you were on the field, you would have been diving into that pitch.
Well, you got that right.
1-2 pitch. Well, there's a good breaking ball right there. 1 down. So Shane Reynolds, who hasn't allowed a hit so far, throwing a nasty breaking ball to Todd Hundley.
7 in a row. Good breaking pitch.
His third strikeout.
Left fielder number 5, Chris Jones.
Reynolds, 27 years old. From Bastrop, Louisiana. Did I pronounce that properly?
Louisiana, yeah, it's Bastrop.
Bastrop.
Bastrop, Louisiana.
And Chris Jones, the newest Met, takes outside, 1-0.
They can put some Grigri on you in Bastrop, you know.
I'll tell you what, they have their own language down there. And the 1-0 pitch. This is down low, 2-0. Ex-Met pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach for the Astros. And he was a good pitcher. 2-0 pitch. Hit hard into right field and get that ball for Chris Jones.
The pitcher, number 28, Bobby Jones.
Well, his first is bad as a Met is an awfully good one. Goes the other way. Hard line drive.
So the Mets have a base runner, and now Bobby Jones will be the batter. 2 hits in this game for the Astros, 1 for the Mets.
Astros will be looking for the bunt here.
I think anytime you get your first hit of any season, they should get the ball. Jones bunts the ball out in front of the plate. Reynolds makes the grab, so the sacrifice is executed perfectly. And with that in mind, a great way to reward yourself after the game is with the fresh, pure, natural taste of an ice-cold Budweiser. Proud to be your Bud.
Bobby Jones can reward himself. That's the 5th sacrifice of the season for him. He's made it look easy, hasn't he?
Well, he has, and the Mets have been sacrificing a lot.
That is the 28th sacrifice for the Mets. They lead the league.
It's 28 sacrifices in 18 games. Dodgers are second in the National League with 12. Speaking of ex-Dodgers, here's Brett Butler.
Would you say that's a drastic difference? 12 is number 2. 27 for the Mets. Dallas came with his bunning pants on this year.
And Butler fouls the ball off.
Trying to put some pressure on the defense.
Dallas told the team before the game, if you missed it on the pregame show, he told us, boys, spring training's over. Let's get serious. See the defense for Butler. Shallow in the outfield. Even up in the infield. Third baseman playing in. The 0-1 pitch. There's a strike. 0-2 so far. Reynolds has painted those corners.
Well, he has shown very good stuff. The ability to pitch inside to the left-handers, which is extremely important.
Saw Chris Jones on second base. With 2 men out here in the top of the third.
He has been on top of the hitters. There was a wiggle. A little confusion on their sides.
With a runner on second base. You use those more complicated signs with a runner on second base. And sometimes you have different signs for each pitcher. Terry Collins looking on.
I always thought they should fine him. They had all day to work on that. How can they not know what the heck the signs are? I mean, they got to go out there and talk about it now during the game? Come on.
They've already talked about it.
That's what I mean. How can there be confusion?
The 0-2 pitch outside 1 and 2.
Kangaroo court would be getting them.
You're in a cantankerous mood.
No, I'm not. I'm in a great mood.
Jeez. You want to find the pitcher and catcher for having a discussion.
No, they had confusion on something they should not have confusion on. Have they met each other today? You think they in the same locker room or anything? Were they going to pitch to each other or what?
1-2 pitch. Fouled off. If you were a manager, Rusty, I would recommend an easygoing right-hand man and let him communicate with the team.
I'd be a puppy dog, you know.
Oh, yes.
There's Terry Collins. There's a puppy dog. Dallas is like a big puppy dog. Just don't stir him.
That's right.
I believe in that thinking.
Scott Service flashing those signs to Shane Reynolds. 1 and 2 on Brett Butler. He's 0 for 1 in this game. Grounded to first base his first time up. Hits the ball right up the middle. How about that? Here comes Jones. The throw. Not in time. I'll tell you what. I'm not so sure Jones. Well, the catcher dropped the ball. Service blocking home plate. And Butler's on second base. How about that for hitting?
Excellent.
You'll see if on that replay how Jones was stopped by Service.
Ground ball goes through. Derek Bell's got a decent arm. Charges, throws good. Throws well anyway, but tell you what, Jones said, you're going to block that plate? I'm coming through you. Here's Service. He's got that foot in front of the plate. See it? He doesn't have the ball yet. And he's not going to hold on because Jones got to him before the ball did.
That's a nasty block of home plate. And a nasty slide by Chris Jones. A powerful slide by Jones. This guy, hits off the top of the ball, and Reynolds flips the first. That'll do it for the Mets. But Brett Butler driving in a run here in the top of the third, giving the Mets a 1-0 lead after 2.5.
Bob Papa in the Sports Authority Game Time Studios. This update brought to you by MetLife. Rangers trying to close out Quebec at Madison Square Garden. Final seconds of the period. Brian Leach the shot. Sergei Nevchinov bangs it in. Rangers with a 3-0 lead after 1. They're now in the second period with a 3-0 score. Back to Houston. We turn it over to Fran Healy and Rusty Staub. Fran?
Okay, Bob, and how about those Rangers, Mr. Staub?
Got to give them a lot of credit. They're playing a very fine team.
Shane Reynolds steps in and takes down low ball 1 from Bobby Jones.
It's not very often when 8 beats 1. They're on the doorstep to do it.
Ball is short. This Scaino to Brogna. 1 down. So the Rangers are trying to keep that cup in Manhattan. They had a lot of fun with that cup last year.
That cup was everywhere.
It was.
The thing that surprised me the most is how light it was.
They were in private parties with that cup and everything.
You look at that thing, it looks like it's going to weigh about 50, 60 pounds. It's light.
Stanley Cup. The Rangers still have it in their possession. They want to keep it.
It's in front of them. They can.
Greg Biggio steps in. He doubled his first time up. Doubled down the left field line. Then was caught stealing by Todd Hundley. Perfect throw to Bobby Bonilla with Jeff Bagwell at the plate. Fouls the fastball off. 0-1 on Greg Biggio.
The Astros have won every game they've gotten the lead in. 8 of them. And they're 1-8 when the opposition scores the first run. So you know that Dallas Green knows that stat and he's happy. But that really doesn't mean anything today. That's what happened yesterday.
Up high at 1-1.
And the days in the past.
I think so many stats are overrated.
That's one of them.
Unbelievable. Outside, 2-1. Did you ever read the stat sheet when you were a player in the clubhouse? I know they used to put the press notes in the clubhouse. I didn't see too many players reading them at the time.
Well, I think there's some things you can read. I think you can pay attention to the box scores as the team is coming in.
Oh, I agree with that.
And know whether a hitter is hot or cold, or whether a pitcher has been walking people, you know, how the flow of their team has been. It's always good to pay attention to that, but to just look at raw stats. You know, a guy could be hitting 300, but he's 0 for 20.
That's right. Up high to Biggio, he walks. So the Astros have a base runner here in the 3rd. I mean, let's face it. You didn't look at the stat sheet and say, geez, this is amazing. If we get the first run, we usually win.
No, that didn't come up very often.
No.
That wasn't one of the things we thought about.
You can take numbers and turn them.
It was like the game-winning RBI they came up with for a while. If there was a more useless stat than that, I don't ever find it.
Well, they have some stats in all lines of work that's so overrated, it's unbelievable. Even batting averages are overrated. Luis Gonzalez steps in to face Bobby Jones.
Maybe we should speak further about that. Batting averages being overrated.
Right up the middle, base hit. So Luis Gonzalez on first base, Biggio moving to second base, setting the stage for Jeff Bagwell, who struck out his first time up. Terry Collins flashing signs. The Matt Galante, the third base coach. Batting averages, overrated.
Explain.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me, Rusty. After all your years in this game, a lot of the batting averages is overrated. Stats that aren't overrated are key runs driven in by a hitter in tough spots.
I agree.
Key home runs.
They don't emphasize that enough.
Key home runs.
The RBIs that take place when you have that 2-run differential.
Right. There are some guys that are pretty good hitters with nobody on base. There are some guys that are great hitters, leadoff hitters. They can lead off an inning, setting the table.
They're not just set up to drive runs in. They're just not made up to do that.
That's why, as Bagwell fouls the first pitch off, if you have a guy who can drive in runs like this guy Bagwell, and it was proven by the owner of the Astros, he traded away a lot of players so he could pay Bagwell to stay in Houston. Bagwell signed a long-term, big contract during the offseason because he can drive in runs and drive in key runs.
I agree heavily, but this year has not been so good.
Well, he's cold this year, but you forget this year. Last year, the year before.
Oh, there's no doubt that he's a top-notch player in the big leagues.
And I'd be willing to wager.
He's one of the best guys.
When this is over, he'll be right there with those runs driven in.
I don't disagree with you. You also have to have people on the bases to score.
Outside to Bagwell, 1-1.
There are a lot of guys. I mean, Rod Carew was not a big RBI guy except maybe 1 year in his career, but his batting average certainly helped his ball club by scoring 120 runs a year.
Well, he scored those 120 runs because Killebrew drove in 110.
Well,
Bob Allison drove in some runs.
I understand
Don
that.
Menchner.
I'm a real believer in RBI guys, but you got to have somebody on base to drive in. You can have a lot of one-run homers.
1-1 on Jeff Bagwell, who dominated the National League last year. Outside.
I think there are people that get a fluff batting average as opposed to a really good batting average. I agree with you on that.
Folks, let me just tell you about a stat. Last year, Bagwell, his batting average was .368. The reason my colleague is defending batting averages, up until then, Mr. Staub had the highest batting average in the history of the Astros with a .333 back in 1967.
Well, that's not why I defended it.
Sure you did. Foul out of play. Did you forget that?
Yes.
Did you? I just wanted to bring it to your attention. But that .333 batting...
Well, I'm going to go down there and have a conversation with him on that. You can tell how disappointed I am.
But this guy just dominated the National League last year. Unanimous MVP. A couple years back, he was Rookie of the Year.
Well, he's a little more squatted down this year than in the past.
And he's struggling. Another example right there. He said he felt yesterday, I saw him coming into the ballpark today, he told me yesterday he felt he needed it off.
If you can watch right there, he's in the crouch. Watch him come out of it now. He comes out of it. Now he's going to try to go back down on it. He can't do that. That's what's killing him.
Well, what should he do?
Well, you got to find a comfortable place and explode from that. You start standing up, you're in trouble.
Derek Bell, the batter. He singled to center field his first time up, so he's 1 for 1. 1-0. The Mets on top of the Astros. Bottom of the 3rd inning.
That's the same for a golfer. If you have a crouch stance and you're a golfer and you stand up in that thing, you're definitely going to slice it, not hit it well. I know that very well. I do that all the time. Oh, what a pitch.
There's a strike right there to Bell. So what you're saying is Bagwell, when he's in the crouch, he's got to hit in the crouch.
He's got to come out of it. One move.
Because if you go up, your head goes to a different level. So the ball's moving.
And you're spent a little bit too. You really can't pop the ball.
Outside. 1-1.
You're an arm hitter then.
But
he's certainly strong enough in his arms, but you generate a lot of power with your legs and the turn, the popping of the hips.
1-1 pitch. It's a good pitch right there. 1-2. But getting back to Bagwell, safe to assume that he'll come out of this. The Mets want him to come out of it in about a week.
Somebody's going to pay eventually.
True.
You know that he's too good a player.
1-2 pitch. Down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 men are out. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Mets on top of the Astros, 1-0. They picked up that run last inning on a base hit by Brett Butler.
If I was a pitcher, I would not want to go to 3-2 and get those runners running. Give my defense a chance here.
It should have been 3-2. Bell chasing a bad breaking ball. Now, with that in mind, when you see Bell swinging a breaking ball like that, if you're a catcher, what do you call?
Well,
don't say fastball.
He didn't look very good on it. I'm going to have to try him again. The big thing with runners on first and second, 2 down, 2-2, they're not running. If he gets the 3-2 and they run, you got to throw to first base. Any kind of a hit's going to produce a run, and even a long single might produce 2 runs.
Chopper to 3rd. Phenia, a foot race. He beat him. Yes. So they get the force at 3rd base. The Astros strand 2. Fail to score. We've played 3 here at the Dome in Houston, and it's 1-0 New York.
Top of the 4th inning. Mets with a 1-run lead. Rico Bronya facing Shane Reynolds. In the Houston Astrodome. They've done a lot of things here to beautify this stadium. It really looks good. The flowers, whether artificial or not, do look terrific. Ground ball off the end of the bat, right at Biggio over the Bagwell. One quick out. Done a lot of little things within the interior of the stadium to make it look good. A lot of paint,
Oh,
a
it's
lot of
green.
green paint.
Yeah, it's green. The fence is green. It used to be blue. There's
Green
those
is-
artificial flowers Rusty loves.
25, Bobby Jones.
Little water, huh?
Yeah, the water I'm not sure about.
What? The
Little
artificial
beautification.
flowers.
We're inside here, guys. I mean, the grass doesn't grow here for a reason. They got a top on this thing and they had to paint it. Swing and a miss by Bonilla. Strike one.
It was difficult to play baseball here in Houston in the middle of the summer outside. Correct, Mr. Staub?
It wasn't difficult. It was just hot. There was no place to hide. I used to love it. You knew that pitcher was scared to death. Guys trying to, it's like almost in Dallas now. It gets so hot in Dallas. Pitchers go into the game. A lot of times you go into a game thinking, well, I'm going to pitch a complete game. In the old ballpark, they want to say, boy, I'd like to just make sure I get 5 innings in today. Bonilla chases that split finger.
Rusty, you like the heat you just said?
Anytime it's bad for the pitcher, I think it's good for the hitter.
Folks, this is coming from a guy who occasionally in the middle of the winter has the air conditioner running in his car.
Yeah, but I love to play in the hot. I really did. I just,
Of course, we were younger back then.
very much so. That ball's a foul ball, still 1-2.
Well, the great line here in Houston was issued by Ernie Banks at the old Colt 45 Stadium. He had a line, great day for two, great day for two. Ernie would say it every single day. Well, they played two at that stadium, and Ernie passed out.
I was there, and I never let him forget it. When he was on the air with us a few years ago, I brought it up. He says, boy, you're a dirty dog. You never forget anything, do you? Fastball, little teaser out over the plate, trying to get Bonilla to chase it. Let's see what he's going to follow it up with. Checks Scott's service. Looks like it's a curveball. Yep. And Bonilla hits a rope. It's a sinking liner, and Phil Plantier's right there. You're right. It was a curveball. It was a number 2. And there are 2 outs. And that will bring up Joe Orsulak. A run and 2 hits by the Mets. 3 hits by Houston. They have not scored. Astros have stranded 4 through the first 3 innings. 2 in both the second and third innings. Orsulak has been swinging a hot bat. 8 hits and 13 at bats during the homestand. Mets hoping to get out of their road doldrums on this trip. Back through the middle. Good cutoff by Miller. And he gets a nice play by the shortstop. That will end the inning on a fine play. After 3.5, Mets 1, Houston nothing.
Fans, start your Memorial Day weekend at Shea Stadium with a spectacular Garucci family fireworks show. Friday, May 26th, after the 7:40 Mets Giant game, will be the first of 3 fireworks nights at Shea this season. Brought to you by Coca-Cola. For ticket information or to charge seats by phone, call the Mets at 718-507-TIXX during business hours. A per-ticket surcharge applies. Don't forget to ask about Amazing May.
We want to see our young fans on Sunday, May 28th for Conn's Kids Jersey Day. All kids 14 and under attending the 140 game against the Giants will receive a shirt modeled after the Mets 95 road jersey, courtesy of Conn's Hot Dogs. For tickets, call the Mets at 718-507-TIXX during business hours or stop by the Mets Clubhouse shops. A per-ticket surcharge applies, and don't forget to ask about Amazing May.
We're in the amazing Astrodome, ninth wonder of the world, and it was that when it opened up here. Talked about this many times. You haven't heard it? They had all the big pilings in here holding the top of the stadium up. The architects came in the middle of the stadium. Ownership got in the middle of the stadium, and they took the braces down. And the top stayed up.
Players don't like playing in the dome.
Look, a lot of players now are against AstroTurf. They don't like playing inside. This was a magnificent setup. That it was so hot in this particular area that the dome really created something special. I'm not so much against some of these dome stadiums. I'd like them to find a way where they open up like they have in Toronto, where you can have real grass. Now, Toronto doesn't have real grass, but it'd be nice. I think baseball was meant to be played on real grass. Strike call.
You're gonna see more and more Camden Yards, Jacobs Field.
I agree, and I think it's the best thing that they can do for the game of baseball. 3 balls and a strike now.
Coors Field in Denver, new ballpark in Texas. I mean, this is nice. This is a nice conversational piece.
And for the second time, Maganin draws a walk. That is his 17th walk of the season. It's amazing.
If you're having a conversation, you don't mind talking about the Astrodome. And the visiting players don't like it. And I'm told that if you're a home player, you have to convince yourself, because you're going to play here.
Well, the Astros have had an amazing record here at home against most teams. They have dominated in this ballpark. So it has been a home field advantage for them. Some players in the past have talked about not being able to pick the ball up. They have certainly enhanced that by making the seats green and everything green behind home plate area. Oh, way inside. And I don't know how it missed Plantier.
Take a look at that pitch again, a side angle. Plantier diving in and saying, whoa, whoa. Quick
play
feet.
by Hundley.
Very good. Anytime that pitch is thrown into the hitter, whether he's right-handed or left-handed, it's a good play if the catcher can pull it out of the dirt, because you're diving into the batter.
Especially if you got to go backhanded like he did on that one. That's even, I would imagine, a more difficult play for a catcher.
Of course, that catcher's glove today, past 30, 40 years, when you had that break in the catcher's glove, made it a whole lot easier for catchers. At one time, there was no break in the glove. You had to use 2 hands.
Jones gets the call on that fastball, makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. He has really struggled with his rhythm in this ball game so far.
And that's unusual for Bobby Jones. Usually has pinpoint control. In order for Bobby to win, he has to have pinpoint control.
Boy, big swing fouled straight back by Plantier. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
When you're watching Todd Hundley catch with that mitt with the break in the glove, you have to think of his dad, Randy Hundley, who popularized one-handed catching. He saved a lot of broken fingers over the years.
Got that right. Hundley looking down and away. It's where he wants it. But it's up and outside. And we have a full count. Plantier has 13 strikeouts and 44 at-bats. Nobody out. A slow runner at first. Do you send him? We're going to find out.
Plantier has that big swing.
There goes the runner. Popped up and out of play. Trying to stay out of the double play, but Plantier's got to make contact.
When you look at Plantier with that big swing, and you think of Bob Watson, the general manager of the Astros, who made good contact and was able to drive the ball. I guess you would say there are 2 schools of thought that might end up in conflict.
Got to get that plank out I told you about. Good tailing fastball. Maganin did not go, and it's lucky he didn't. Plantier took that pitch. It would have been a really good pitch for the catcher to come out throwing. Hundley was ready, but nobody went. It's almost like Maganin was fooled by the quick delivery of Bobby Jones. Third strikeout for Jones against 2 walks, as we said, both to Magadan. It brings up Scott Service, who hit into a fielder's choice. Strike called. Whenever a hitter of Scott Service's size and speed is up there, the infielders always look at each other, or should, and say, good man for 2. I led the league in that comment, especially toward the end of my career. Hundley down and away. Boy, it's right there. Ground ball, and here it comes. 6 to 4 to 3. Good man for 2, and it was. That double play will end the 4th inning. Mets still lead the Astros 1-0. At the Dome, it's 1-0 New York.
Promotional considerations provided by Cartier.
1-0 Mets over the Astros, top of the 5th inning. Edgardo Alfonso leads it off for New York. He'll be followed by Hundley and Chris Jones, who in his initial bat of the season for the Mets singled and then was driven in by Brett Butler. That's the only run in this game so far. Pitch misses, ball 1. Shane Reynolds has actually had better control and better rhythm than Bobby Jones, but Bobby Jones right now ahead 1-0. Swing and a miss by Alfonso. A ball and a strike. Scott Service giving the signs. There's that fastball, wants it down and in. Boy, it's up and in.
Did you see Service shake his head no to Reynolds? That means they're thinking along the same lines consistently so far through this game, and Reynolds has not taken the opportunity to shake Service off. So Service wanted Alfonso to start thinking at the plate.
Again, he wants the same location, down and in. It comes down and in, but it is too far down and too far in, and it's a 3-1 count. So Edgardo with a chance to get a fastball that he wants to hit here. We will see if Reynolds comes to him. This time more out over the plate, and he gets a line drive, ground ball, base hit. 3-1, 2-0. Boy, I tell you what, if you're the hitter, you just know you're going to do well.
Well, he got a big hit last night when he was behind an account. Here he's up an account. He takes a more aggressive swing, pulling the ball to the left side. This kid's really opening a lot of the eyes for the New York Mets management. They were high on him in the minor leagues, and they really have to be high on Alfonso now.
He keeps doing this. They're going to have to start looking around.
Get him in the lineup every day.
Yep. Jeff Kent. Oh, ground ball. This is a tailor-made double play. 4-6-3. One thing the AstroTurf does, you get that good two-hopper to an infielder. That double play is going to come. That is the 18th double play for Houston.
And Biggio turning it. 4-6-3 double play. Biggio's worked hard on his defense with Matt Galante, the third base coach and the infield coach with the Astros. Matt was the second baseman at St. John University, an All-American. There's Matt in the middle. Matt went on, signed with the Yankees. Been a long-time coach here with the Astros. Rumored for many managerial positions in baseball.
Good hard fastball on the inside corner. Reynolds, who gave up the hit to Jones, who shot that ball to right field his last time up, says, I've got to come in harder. Now he's going to go away. Good curveball. Excellent location. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, we mentioned at the outset that his best pitch is his first pitch. He throws it for a strike. He gets ahead. Here's the hook. He gets Jones to chase that big breaking curveball. Now he's really in control.
Wants it up and away. He gets it up and in. Just wanted him to chase something.
It's amazing when you look at the 2 pitchers in tonight's game how they are control pitchers. Control pitchers have to do it time and again to impress people as opposed to a hard thrower.
Again, going down and away with the fastball, and he just misses. He has not used that split finger as much as you would expect, but this is the right time for it in the order of pitches that have come. You saw him shake those fingers. Here it comes, and there it is. Good pitch. Strikes out Jones. Strikeout number 4 for Shane Reynolds. After 4.5 innings, New York 1, Houston nothing. Houston, Texas. The Houston Astrodome. Orlando Miller will lead it off for the Astros. He has taken over the shortstop spot. Cedeno, who was the shortstop here, they feel that Miller is a very similar type player. He's got a lot of pop, can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
He's making less money also.
Making a lot less money. Again, Bobby Jones kind of slinging it a little bit today. He's not on top all the time. That's why a lot of those pitches have been errant. Got to stay on top. The wrist. There it is. Strike call.
Bob Watson told me that Cedeno was heading into a higher bracket as far as salary was concerned. They felt they wouldn't lose that much by bringing up Miller. He told me about Miller last year. He was high on him in the minor leagues.
Big swing and a miss. Talked to Durker before the game, Larry Durker, who has been doing the games here for a long, long time, and he said they're about the same kind of player, a little bit erratic every once in a while. Both have good pop, and the big key is what you said, Francis Xavier. Salary is much less. Jones has it. Go to first in time. 1 down. Many, many clubs taking those salaries into consideration. This is a definite small market team.
Oh, yes. And they paid a lot of money to Bagwell. And Bob Watson told me that the owner of the Astros sat down with him and said, you know, what can we afford? What can't we afford? There's Drayton McLean right there. They felt their budget should be around $22–24 million. If they kept the players they traded to San Diego, they would have put their budget up to over $44 million.
They've been right on up there. Jones misses with that pitch. Ball on the strike. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Mets lead 1-0. Both teams with 3 hits. Houston has made an error. Did he go? They're asking. Strike called by Bruce Fremming. There's Bruce. Again, he was underneath that. That's the slinger. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitcher at the plate. Strike 3 called. And that's a good break for Jones. Gets his 4th strikeout.
By the way, folks, that trade that the Astros made with San Diego, a lot of players moved. Derek Bell, Ricky Gutierrez, Pedro Martinez, Phil Plantier, and Craig Shipley coming to Houston in exchange for Ken Caminiti, Andrew Cedeno, Steve Finley, Roberto Pagnin, Brian Williams, and a player to be named later. How about that? Player to be named later.
Why not?
They ran out of players. That was a huge deal, pulled off by the Padres and the Astros. Of course,
the odd thing about that is that it's a father-son tandem in a way. Cal Smith taking over a big role here with the Houston Astros. And his son, the general manager. of the San Diego Padres.
Of course, Bob Watson said he had the deal. The deal was done, and then Tal got the job as president.
There he is.
Tal Smith. He got the job as president of the Astros and said, pull the trigger.
Well, Tal was a fixture here for many, many years, and then fell out of favor when the McMullen group came in and took over. He left. Did a lot of work in arbitration hearings for a lot of different clubs. His organization used to represent ownership in the arbitration cases held across the country.
Came out of Duke University and started working with the Astros back in the 60s.
He's a sharp class guy.
Tal Smith. Speaking of John McMullen, he did a fine job bringing up a lot of these young players before selling the team.
3-0 to Biggio, and he gets a quick pass. Bobby Jones, his third walk in the game. That matches his whole walk output for the whole season now. He came in only walking 3 and 27 2/3 innings, so that rhythm is just not there tonight.
And keep in mind, Biggio last year leading the National League with 39 stolen bases.
That is actually the 4th walk. It's the 2nd time he's walked Biggio.
He can run.
Luis Gonzalez, the hitter. Singled his last time up. Right back through the middle. 2 down. Biggio, a decent lead.
How about Biggio going from catcher to second base, doing a job defensively and offensively, and as I mentioned, leading the league in stolen bases last year.
Tremendous job. That pitch up and in by Jones. So Bobby Jones trying to prove that you don't have to have your rhythm. You just keep battling. He has done that. Foot on the AstroTurf for Biggio. Ground ball, foul.
Keep in mind, Biggio was cut down attempting to steal third base in the first inning. That sometimes takes a little bit of your aggressiveness away during the course of that ball game.
I remember the one time we talked about that a few years ago. Robbie Thompson got thrown out, proceeded to get thrown out 3 more times during the ball game. Something tells me he maybe should have taken a non-aggression pill for that night. He got thrown out 4 times. I never saw that. Ground ball in the hole. Brogna makes a nice play. Turns, flips, and they get him. Fine play by Rico Brogna. Ends the 5th inning. Boy, diving and flipping. After 5, 1-0. Mets.
Well, he can swing the bat, and he also can put some leather on you. Here's Rico Brogna making a fine play. Ball hit by Gonzalez. Brogna taking a base hit away from him, flipping the ball to Jones at first. Nice play by the Met first baseman, Rico Brogna.
And Bobby Jones will lead it off for the Mets. 1-run lead in the top of the 6th inning. They're looking down and away. It's a high chopper. Backhand, but he can't hold on. Miller almost made a terrific play. He would have had to really gun it. And speaking of those infield hits, the league leaders are brought to you by your Tri-State Chrysler dealers. Infield hits in the National League. Bell here in Houston with 8. Butler in New York with 6. Also Girardi and Sanders. Boy, Girardi does not look like one of the guys that should be in there, huh?
Girardi having a terrific start here in '95. If you recall, opening night in Denver, the only player booed by the fans in Denver was Joe Girardi, who happened to be a high-profile player rep during the baseball strike. But he is really doing a job on the field now.
Speaking of high-profile people during the strike, Brett Butler was one of those players. He turns around, lays down a nice bunt, fielded by the pitcher, and Reynolds over to Bagwell. Good sacrifice.
So Butler doing the job once again, bunting the runner into scoring position. Reynolds making the play, and they just do get Butler at first base. We talked about how tough he was to double up last year. He set a record for Dodgers by grounding into only 2 double plays. The record for the Mets grounding into a double play in one season is held by Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra grounded into 1 double play in 1987.
How daring. Jose Vizcaino, the hitter. Ground ball to the shortstop. Slow roller. Good base running. Runner moves to third. So Jones takes advantage of the high hopper.
That was real good base running by Bobby Jones. He's been aggressive on the base paths. I never understood why pitchers were not aggressive. They do more running than anybody on the team. Here it is.
Some have talent, some don't. As far as thinking the game, you know.
Well, Bobby Jones is on third base, helping his own cause, can score in a wild pitch or a pass ball.
And Rico Brogna will hit with 2 down. Rico has struck out and grounded out. Chance to push the Mets a little further ahead. They're 1-run lead at this time. Boy, that's fastball up and in.
You know, talking about running the bases and pitchers, I think pitchers should steal bases.
Boy, I don't.
They do more running than anybody. All you have to do is slide.
I have seen a pitcher try to run the bases, try to steal a base, pull a hamstring, and be out of the rotation. There's something different about the kind of running that they do.
I've seen
where they stride.
I've seen everyday players run the bases and pull hamstrings.
Oh, I agree. I would be very conservative if I had good starters.
I think you can baby the pitchers too much. They do more running than anybody else. They're young. Teach them how to steal a base. Have them practice sliding. I know it's against the grain, but they should.
I would be very conservative in that area. 2 balls, no strikes. Oh, swing and a miss. Brogna trying to go for the downs. All you need is a single here. A single scores a run. Well, the infield playing extremely deep, trying to make sure that Brogna doesn't get it through them. Back on the lines at short and second and at first. Ball off the plate. 3 balls and a strike. Bobby Bowe in the on-deck circle. We'll see what kind of a pitch Shane Reynolds gives here. Looks like they want a fastball away. Boy, it's a good one. And he throws that one by Brogna. So now 3-2, 2 down. Got to have in the back of your mind that one thing that I'm sure Bull Watson would have in the back of his mind if one of his hitters was up there. Put the ball in play. Shorten up on that swing. Make some contact. Split-fingered fastball and a dandy. Shane Reynolds strikes out Brogna to end the top of the 6th inning. Strikeout number 5. After 5.5 innings, 1-0 Mets. Back at the Astrodome, bottom of the 6th. Jeff Bagwell will lead it off. He has struck out twice tonight. Really struggling. Fans tap the Rockies with Coors Light. Thank you, New York and New Jersey, for making Coors Light the #1 beer.
Oh, see if Bagwell now hits out of that slump, or out of that crouch, I should say.
Breaking ball misses down and away.
One problem you can have, as Rusty mentioned earlier, when you're in that crouch, is coming up when the ball's on its way to the plate.
Watch his knees, watch his... Oh, he stood up again.
All he needs is a good 3 for 4. He'll be out of his slump. I'd let him hit right here. See if he can get him going. This team is going to not, they will go no place without him delivering and delivering big.
Well, he took a stride, but had the hands held back pretty good. He gets a leadoff walk. Oh, an unusual night for Bobby Jones. 5 walks.
It looks like he's throwing the ball harder also.
Just really struggling with his rhythms. Not staying on top. Slinging it, as I've said a few times tonight. That's why he's been so erratic. Sometimes you go out there, you don't understand it. You're just not trying to do that. You just can't find your rhythm. Something's off, but you battle. And he has certainly done that. He's only given up 3 hits so far. And has gotten out of the jams that he has caused himself by the 5 walks. Runner goes. Line shot foul. So he's putting the runner in motion. Gary Collins says, I'm not going to wait around. I'm going to make something happen. No balls and a strike. They're looking in. It is up and in for a ball. 1-1. Very odd set of circumstances that you don't. I mean, you always come into a town and you say, who's on a disabled list? Because everybody always seems to have somebody on a disabled list. The Houston club does not have a player on a disabled list. When's the last time we went to a city when that happened? Nobody's on a disabled list. A manager like that to happen all year long.
I think they're only concerned when the big producers are on a disabled list. You know, tough to replace those guys.
No doubt about it. Boy, good pitch by Bobby Jones. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Astros did not swing the bats well in the previous series against the Phillies. They only hit .204 in that series. Bobby Jones is trying to shut him down. They're going to go down and in. Oh, they jam him up. Good pitch by Jones. Just ties up Bell. And he gets his 5th strikeout.
Third baseman, number 22, Dave Megan.
If you just joined us, here's a quick game update brought to you by your Tri-State GMC dealers. Jones, game's only run. Bobby Jones, no runs, 5 strikeouts, 5 walks. Bagwell 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He has a walk. And Reynolds has given up the 1 run. He has 5 strikeouts himself. And he's another guy that has not been walking very many people this year. How about a 0? He has 16 strikeouts and nary a walk. Well, that's good pitching. Skied toward left field. Bruce Jones is there. He's got it for the out. Magadan will take that short little trot into the Houston dugout. It'll bring up Phil Plantier.
Right fielder, number 17.
I'm usually talking about the outfielders playing too deep. With Plantier up and 2 outs in a 1-run ball game, this is the time where an outfield should play deep in a ballpark as big as the Dome, even though they've shortened it up a little bit. With AstroTurf, you want to make sure that you can stop that runner from scoring on a double. You got to make them short doubles, not long doubles. Plantier only has one thing in mind. He wants an 800-foot home run. That's what Bob Watson said. He's looking for the long ones. Whoa, that curveball just slipped right out of his hands.
Bagwell was put in motion when Derek Bell was batting.
He has stolen 5 bases in 6 attempts this year. Has the ball on the right side of your screen. Swing and a miss. Jones beat him with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Bob Watson is telling him, put the ball in play, put the ball in play, put the ball in play.
Great shot, guys. Great shot. Coming inside. They want it inside. Oh, it gets out over the plate. Jones let that one tail out. Give him a chance to extend those arms, but he missed it. 1-2.
Keep in mind, Bob Watson was a fine major league hitter for about 19 years. Tough out, tough man to strike out. Hit with power.
Drove in runs, big runs.
Yeah, there's a big run out there on first base for the Astros now.
What a curveball. He wanted it down and in. He almost made a mistake with that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Surprised they're not going to let Bagwell be a little more aggressive on the bases in this situation. Let Plantier, he's thrown out trying to steal. Have another at bat. Oh, it hits him. It hits him. So Bobby Jones coming in hard. Just gets Plantier. Second hit batter this year for Jones. And now he's got himself in a little bit deeper trouble.
Got that last pitch. Plantier could not get out of the way of that ball. Previous at bat, he had a jump over a pitch that was way inside. So obviously the bookend Plantier's pitch him away and now go inside. There's Bo Watson looking.
Yes. Bob Watson, the general manager, said, take one for the club. Scott Service, the hitter. He is hit into a fielder's choice and grounded into a double play. Big time for the Astros. They have the bullpen started. Jones gets the call. Boy, that's a break. Just caught the outside tip of home plate. Larry Vanover calling balls and strikes. Here's Hundley going over what they want to do. There's a runner at second. A little more complicated signs. Curveball, it's just off the end of the bat. He hung it up and Service missed it. So Jones gets away with a pitch that wasn't so hot. It ends the 6th inning. Astros Fran 2 after 6. Mets lead the Astros 1-0.
A curve is an optical illusion. A screwball can be a pitch or a person. Stealing is legal, and you can spit anywhere you like, except in the umpire's eye or on the ball.
Mets and the Astros. Mets with a 1-run lead. Top of the 7th inning. Phenia, Orsulak, and Alfonso scheduled. Shane Reynolds has pitched a fine ball game, but he is trailing. No walks, 5 strikeouts. You see Phenia, one of those strikeouts, and he is also flied. He actually hit a hard line drive to right field. Sinking liner. It's a curveball. Let's see what Scott Service has to offer here. He wants to look. That was a split finger. Now he wants the fastball away. He gets the call. Strike 1. So Reynolds shook off 2 different pitches that time and threw what he wanted. Just watch his hand down there. That's the split-fingered fastball. And it's a good one. Phenia does not go chasing. It's a ball and a strike. They get a chance, but they do want it down and away. It's another split finger. Phenia leading off the 7th. That's trying to get some insurance runs. Ground ball toward the hole, backhanded, and what a throw by Bagwell on the run. Side wheels it to Shane Reynolds. Fine play. That had a little mustard on it right there, didn't it? That was good looking.
the Gold Glove last year, and what a play from a converted third baseman to first base. Outstanding throw by Bagwell. He ranges far to his right, on the move, throws across his body, leading Reynolds. And it was a nice catch by the big right-handed pitcher, Reynolds, to cover first base. Obviously, Bagwell's hitting has not affected his Gold Glove fielding.
That was a terrific play. First ball grounded foul.
The man who made the decision to move Bagwell, he was scheduled to go to the minor leagues a couple of years ago. Bob Watson, he was assistant general manager at the time, said Bagwell's not going to the minor leagues. He went down, he gave him a first baseman's glove. With 1 day left in spring training, he said, you're going to play first base. How about that? He's a Gold Glove winner after converting to first.
It doesn't happen easy. You got to work at that. And he did that. He worked at it. Orsulak swing and a miss. 0-2. Fans, it's time for the Coors trivia question for this evening. Which former Met was the only Astros pitcher to win the Cy Young Award? No, I got that one. That's an easy. Line drive. But Bell is there. 2 down. Let's check this answer out. This guy was almost impossible for the Mets to beat in 1986.
And his number is retired here in Houston.
Mike Scott.
Mike Scott's number's retired along with 3 other players, Jose Cruz, Jim Albright, and Don Wilson. I thought your number was retired, Rusty.
Evidently it's not. It was retired off the ceiling.
They took it out. What's the deal? They took the thing right out of the building.
Evidently. Edgardo Alfonso. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Jim Albright, for you folks that do not know who that is, was a pitcher who tragically died of cancer. He was one of the original players on this franchise when they were the 45s, and he used to give the MVP award here. It used to be called the Jim Albright Award, but they changed that after a number of years. But that's who Jim Albright was. I know everybody wasn't well acquainted with that name.
Don Wilson obviously passed away tragically. And
yes. Curveball hit firmly right at the third baseman, Maganin. Throw to Bagwell, a quick inning in the top of the 7th. Reynolds looks good, but he's still trailing after 6.5. 1-0, New York.
Bob Pop on the Sports Authority Game Time Studios. Rangers trying to eliminate Quebec. To Madison Square Garden we go. Second period, 3-zip Rangers. Alexei Kovalov beat Stefan Facette for his second of the game. That made it 4-0. It's now 4-2 in the third. Back to Houston we go, where we rejoin Fran Healy and Rusty Staub. Fran?
Okay, Bob, and go Rangers. Rusty, you did a lot of skating up there when you were in Canada, right?
Well, I have never been on skates in my life. I probably would have killed myself. Between that and skiing, if I would have done that. Can you imagine me going downhill with no brakes? Well, they better clear the act, huh? Just everybody off the hill. He's coming. The Astros are coming up here in the bottom of the 7th. Bobby Jones clinging to a 1-0 lead. That is Chris Donalds in the on-deck circle, loosening up. Orlando Miller at the plate, the shortstop. And he gets a nice jump by Vizcaino. Almost got enough of that ball to send it over the shortstop, but stay with him. It's one of those times where Vizcaino thought he was going to have to jump higher than he did. He got way up off the ground, didn't have to go high.
Miller hitting this ball hard. And Vizcaino getting off the ground to make the grab. Once again, he goes into the dugout. Miller does, and he tries to say, well, I hit the ball hard, so it's all right.
Well, go ahead, Francis.
Tough to justify it.
You want to go in there and you want to chew nails, you want to break something, but you don't want to give your cool away. Donald's pinch hitting. A couple of home runs against the Mets here last year. Strike. Good pitch on the inside corner by Bobby Jones. You see career pinch hitting. 214 lifetime. Just looking down here with that curveball. And I tell you what, it was the other way where Donald's hit the 2 home runs. He hit him over that Bud sign, both of them. Opposite field home runs against the Mets last year. But Jones way out front, no balls and 2 strikes. Hundley says, I want it outside. Donald chases it a little bit, gets a piece of it. Still 0-2. Donald seems a little bit like he's going to hit more home runs the other way than he is in the pulling.
You don't look for that from a third baseman. You look for a third baseman to get up to the plate and really pull that ball, drive the ball hard. Chris was a disappointment with the Mets, hoping to impress the Astros. But in order to play third base every day, you really have to swing that bat and swing it and drive in runs.
Yep. Think of John Kruk as a first baseman that hit most of his home runs the other way. This is a high pop up to the infield. Eduardo Alfonso, 2 down. So we will go to the top of the order. Craig Biggio with 2 down. Biggio has been on base every time tonight. He doubled in the first, walked in the third, and walked again in the fifth. And the goal for Bobby Jones is for him not to hit again. Astros will have a new pitcher. Jones, that little tight slider, just misses. Is that slinger. Every time he's done it, he's been way out of the strike zone. Not staying on top of the fastball. 2 balls, no strikes.
Going to get some action in the Mets bullpen now.
Biggio going for the pump, missed it.
Doug Henry will start to throw in the Mets bullpen. I'm sure the Mets, like the Astros, counting the pitches their pitchers are throwing tonight. Out of state with Reynolds. The way he was throwing.
It used to happen a lot more in the old days. Not so much nowadays. The ball fouled off just above the Astros dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I guess with the short relievers that finish so many games now, complete games are not looked upon the same way they were in the old days.
I think managers now have a philosophy and they stay with that philosophy.
Off speed pitch hit hard and deep. Jones is there though. That ball sunk. It was a sinking liner. So Biggio hit it hard, but it was right at Chris Jones. Bobby Jones gets out of trouble after 7. He leads 1-0.
Now let's take a look at the MCI Proof Positive replay of the game. And Jeff Bagwell did a nice job on this ground ball. Fine play, throwing across his body, leading Shane Reynolds to first base. And that's our MCI Proof Positive replay. That guy right there won his first Gold Glove last year. He's going to win a lot more before he's through. Todd Hundley steps in, takes up high, ball 1. Hundley in his ball game 0 for 2, struck out, hit into a 4-6-3 double play. And he takes a strike, 1-1 on Todd Hundley.
Let's need Hundley to get hot again. He's only really driven in 1 run in the last 7 games.
And he takes outside 2-1 from Dave Darris.
You get in those positions where you start driving in a lot of runs in certain games. Managers really love it when those guys are very consistent with those RBIs.
Henry hits on top of that pitch. Bagwell to Veras. 3-1, one down.
There we go. 11th game for Veras. No earned run average. He's giving up nothing.
Well, he'll face Chris Jones right now. Jones in his first start with the Mets singled to right field and scored in the 3rd inning. And he struck out in the 5th. It's 1-0. The Mets on top of Houston here in the top of the 8th inning. One and 0 on Chris Jones. Ball hit right over Veras' head. And, wow, nice stop by Biggio, but no play on Chris Jones. How about Jones? 2 for 3 in tonight's ball game.
Well, you want to impress right off the bat so you can stay in the lineup. Get a couple of hits. Got a good chance to remain in it.
I mentioned how Carl Everett was sent to the minor leagues last night. Tough decision for Dallas Green. He was a favorite of Dallas Green's, and Dallas had to tell him after the ball game. Said that Carl Everett just sat there and he said, "Is there anything you want to say?" And Carl Everett said, "Man, just want to go home." He said, "We'll make sure you get home." He said, "Get down to the minor leagues and get your stroke." Tough decision for a manager. And David Segui's the pinch hitter for Bobby Jones. Mike Cubbage flashing signs. Segui with that 1 home run, 7 RBIs, batting .225. And they check Jones at first base. The Segui situation is a situation here with the Mets that everybody seems to be focusing on.
I'll tell you what, he's in a tough position because he lacks speed in the outfield and he lacks punch.
His natural position is first base. He takes outside 1-0 on David Segui.
As long as Brogna plays as he has played, he's going to be there.
So it looks like David Segui's the odd man out. Do you keep him on the bench or do you trade him?
I think in all those situations, if you make a decision, are you going to trade someone? It's if you do, is there something positive that's going to come out of it? My favorite move.
Veras breaking with the rubber, looking Jones back to first base. 1-0 on David Segui. You put Jones in motion. Mets need another run. They have 5 hits in this game. The Astros have 3. Veras checks Jones again. Mets play 3 games here against the Astros. Then they head to Philadelphia for a 3-game series against the Phillies. Phillies have been red hot. They've been playing some great baseball. In fact, they're 13-5 on the season, a 2.5-game lead over Montreal. Atlanta 4 games back, the Mets 6 out, and the Marlins 8 games back. Phillies are hammering the baseball. It was predicted they would have a good offense, but they're getting some good pitching there at the vet also. Segui hits the ball hard. What a play, Bagwell. Over to second to 1. Whoa, what a play by Jeff Bagwell. He's made 2 outstanding plays in this ball game. And that'll do it for the Mets. They fail to score. We played 7.5 here at the Dome. 1-0 New York.
Come out to Shea and amaze in May. If you buy a ticket to any Mets home game, you'll get a free reserve ticket to any other game this season. Also, food and beverage concessions, excluding alcohol, will be half price during the entire month. For information or to charge seats by phone, call the Mets at 718-507-TIXX during business hours. We missed you, and we want to see you back at Shea for Amazing May.
Hey kids, nobody beats the Wiz, and the Mets invite you to come out for the Dynameds Dash on Sunday, May 28th. Weather permitting, you can run the bases at Shea Stadium just like the major leaguers. So get ready for the Dynamits Dash following the Mets-Giants game on May 28th. For tickets, call the Mets at 718-507-TIXX during business hours or visit the clubhouse shops. A per ticket service charge applies. And don't forget to ask about Amazing May.
All right, Doug Henry in the ball game, his 9th game. He has a 1-1 record, no saves, a 5.14 earned run average. Tell you what, the Mets really need him to come true to form. He's been a terrific reliever in the past, especially in Milwaukee. The Mets really need him to have a big year to try to get to Franco. It means a lot. Got to get that middle relief focused.
Dallas Green told the Mets spring training's over. Had a meeting before the ball game. Let's go get them. No excuses. So Doug Henry now will pitch Luis Gonzalez. Gonzalez takes a strike. Gonzalez 1 for 3 tonight. Singled his second time up. Singled into center field. Minor and Gunderson. Gonzalez pops the ball up in foul territory. It's out of play. So 0-2 on Luis Gonzalez. He'll be followed by Jeff Bagwell.
This is his thunder inning. This is the inning that got 2, 3, 4 up. The guys with the pop.
Another change here at the Dome. The relief pitchers can sit in the dugout or they can sit on the benches down the left and right field lines. Last year you were confined to the dugout, all the players. The 0-2 pitch down low. 1-2. There are the benches. Depending on how you feel towards the manager, you can sit in the dugout or you can sit in the bullpen. At one time, you would voice your displeasure quietly by moving yourself to the bullpen. Outside, 2-2. I can remember there were teams in the minor leagues with all the reserves and all the relief pitchers. They were all in the bullpen. The manager would be sitting in the dugout by himself. That's when everybody was upset. Here's the 2-2 pitch of Gonzalez. Swung at it, missed. Good fastball from Henry. Striking out Gonzalez. Henry now will face Jeff Bagwell, who has been superb with the leather tonight, but he has struck out and walked. Struck out twice and walked. Jeff Bagwell went to the University of Hartford. It was the only college in the country that wanted him as a baseball player. Summertime, he ended up playing in the Cape Cod League. He said it did more for his career than anything. Fouls the ball off. Cape Cod League is a famous college league where the best college players go in the summertime to play. Well, Bagwell showed up and was playing against guys he said he used to watch on TV in the College World Series. He said all of a sudden he started to compete. He did rather well and said, I belong here.
Maybe it was that good seafood he was eating up there in that Cape Cod area.
Absolutely. Beautiful area. Outside the Bagwell, 1-1. In fact, when his first year he worked in Friendly's Ice Cream, where they serve food besides the ice cream, and the players that were on his team used to go in after they got out of work and really mess up the dishes, so he would have to wash them. 1-1 pitch, fouls the ball out of play. He said the second year he went back, he had one of those jobs where you worked until noon, so he would go into Friendly's, mess up the dishes, so one of his teammates had to clean them up. He had a big year his second year after struggling his first year. Felt he could play and then was drafted by the Red Sox.
Well, I know one thing, if they put stock on the exchange in his name, I'm buying it.
Yes, sir. He can play. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. Jeff Bagwell struck out 3 times tonight.
Back-to-back strikeouts by Doug Henry. Impressive. Puts this pitch right in the right zone. See where Hundley is. This ball's going to come back down and in, but it catches the inside corner. And before the umpire even called it, Bagwell's walking off. Watch this. He knows he's out.
That's a good pitch right there. That's what happens when you're in a slump. All good pitches as Derek Bell takes a strike from Doug Henry. Henry faced Gonzalez, struck him out. Faced the Bagwell, struck him out. Dallas Green said he's going to continue to run him out there. He's got a good arm, and there's a good fastball that misses 1-1.
Well, the key ingredient for anybody is to be ahead of the hitter so they can't anticipate just the fastball. Keep that hitter off stride.
Whew, that'll keep you off stride. Good breaking ball. 1-2. 2 minutes gone. We're in the 8th inning. The Mets have a 1-0 lead.
That's the kind of pitch that had a lot of guys right home. Oh, dear mom, don't rent the room.
I'm coming out. They're curving me. I'm coming home.
They're not only curving me, Mom, you can't believe these curves.
First time I saw a slide, it took me about a month to stop swinging at this pitch. It was breaking 4 feet off the plate. I thought the guy had good ball movement on his fastball. 1-2 on Bell.
Should not be a good pitch to hit. And it isn't.
I'll tell you right now, that was a nasty pitch right there. Called the ball. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1-0 New York. 5 hits in the game for the Mets, 3 for the Astros. Ball hit hard, center field. Butler there and making the grab for out number 3. So the Astros go out 1-2-3 here in the 8th. After 8 complete in the dome, it's 1-0 New York. Oh, back here at the Dome, 1-0. The Mets on top of the Astros.
Travel arranged through U.S. Air. With nearly 5,000 flights a day, U.S. Air is the airline that connects over 200 business centers nationwide.
Brett Butler leading off for the Mets, and we have a new pitcher, Rusty.
Pedro Martinez will be on the slab there. He'll be towing it. Now he's working on it.
And Butler gets jammed up the middle. Base hit. Brett Butler. Big turn at first base.
Yeah, he's got to get a smile out of that. You got to smile on that one. That is unbelievable. That is a complete. There it is. You got to smile on that one. Once the shock comes off your molars after you've shaken, you had a chance to run down to first base. You look at him. He says, "Boy, I'll tell you what. I smoked that baby, didn't I?"
His second hit of the game.
Bagwell's going, "Can you show me how you did that? I can't get any of those. I can't even hit it right now."
So Butler on first base. Pedro A. Martinez, as opposed to Pedro J. Martinez of the Montreal Expos. Martinez now pitching to Jose Vizcaino, and Vizcaino takes down low. 1-0 on Vizcaino.
Vizcaino with 7 sacrifice bunts already this season. He is leading the league in that category. Has a chance to extend it.
Pedro A. at the set position, and he checks Butler at first base.
He almost shot that baby right down the right field line.
See the defense for Vizcaino. They're in the infield and also in the outfield. They check Butler at first base. He just beats the throw. Mets could use an insurance run. They've only scored once in this ball game. They are on top of the Astros 1-0 here in the top of the 9th. Nobody out. Brett Butler on first base. There he goes, and Vizcaino bunts the ball back to Pedro A. And he gets Vizcaino at first. The sacrifice executed perfectly.
For the 8th time this year, Vizcaino successfully moves that runner into scoring position.
First baseman, number 26, Rico Bromeo.
So Butler on second base. Dallas Green demanding his team execute the sacrifice, and they've been proficient here in 95. Now Rico Bromeo, who's 0 for 3, gets another shot at driving in a run. Brogna caved twice in this game and grounded to second base.
That was the 30th sacrifice bunt of the season for the Mets. They only played 18 games. That's a lot of sacrifices. More than double anybody else.
Pedro Martinez checks Butler at second base.
Well, that was a very good move. That probably would have tricked anybody. Some of those moves, you wonder why they waste their time.
That's a strike right there. That's a hard fastball. Bob Watson, talking about Pedro A. Martinez before the ball game, was very high on him.
You can pop the ball that hard. You have to like a pitcher.
And you're left-handed.
Probably get a chance to see the slurve right now.
0-1 pitch. Down low. 1-1.
Tough to tell whether that was supposed to be a slider or not. Very tight pitch.
Pedro Martinez, 6'2", 185 pounds, from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic.
Again, call that kangaroo court.
Talking about those signs, and you're not going to read his lips either. Martinez was obtained from the Padres in that blockbuster trade over the winter. In San Diego last year, he was 3-2. Pitched 68 in the third innings. And the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Hard hit ball. Nice play, Biggio. They double off Butler. He was on the move, but Brogna staying in there, hit the ball hard, but hit into a double play. So that'll do it for the Mets here tonight. Last chance for the Astros as we go to the bottom of the ninth. The Mets on top, 1-0. And the first pitch from Doug Henry to Dave Magadan. Strike one, so 0-1. Dallas Green looking on the line. Score is clean, 1-0. The Mets on top of the Astros. One error in this game, that error made by the Astros. The 0-1 pitch to Magadan misses outside, 1-1.
A perfect 7 innings by Bobby Jones brings his earned run average down to 1.82. He came into this game in the top 10. That will only solidify it.
And Henry has been perfect through 1 inning. 2 strikeouts and got Derek Bell to fly to center field as Magadan takes down low, 2-1. It's up to Doug Henry. It'll be Dave Magadan, Phil Plantier, and then Scott Service. Mags takes outside, 3-1. He's walked twice and flied to left field.
Well, it's Gunderson and I think Dakota warming now in the bullpen. John Franco is obviously not going to be used.
And the 3-1 pitch. Magadan hits it up in the air to left field. Chris Jones calling for it. Makes the grab, 1 down. You just tuned in. The youngster Chris Jones in this ball game has 2 hits, scored a run. He's done the job for the Mets tonight. When he scored that run, it was a pretty good collision at home plate between Chris Jones and Scott Service, the catcher for the Astros. You're looking at Phil Plantier. Graphic told the story. He's 0 for 2. Hit by a pitch. Swung on and missed. He's got one thing in his mind. Home run.
He's shaking his head again. I was walking down the hall before. I said, Bobby, we caught you after the Plantier swing, shaking your head. He said, you guys are terrible. I can't even watch the game in peace.
And the 0-1 pitch inside. 1-1.
Certain players have to frustrate managers and general managers. It's the way it is.
And a 1-1 pitch. There's a high fly ball, shallow center field. Here comes Butler a long way and gloves it. 2 down. Butler had to come in a long way for that fly ball.
They see a pinch hitter here. Thompson is on the bench. And I imagine they would use their
Looks like Milt
hitter.
Number 28, Milt
You see Butler coming hard. He's going to stop quick. Whoop, hold it. Yes. And Milt Thompson is going to get the pinch hit ball.
So Milt Thompson and Doug Henry will go at it with 2 men out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Mets won, the Astros nothing. Well pitched ball game by not only Bobby Jones, but the starter for the Astros, Shane Reynolds. Doug Henry has done a fine job retiring the 5 batters he has faced. His first pitch to Thompson down low, 1-0. Thompson batting 200. This is the first of a 3-game series here in Houston. Sports Channel will bring you the game again tomorrow night.
Same 7:05 start.
And the 1-0 pitch. It's a strike, 1-1. We'll be back at you Friday night after tomorrow night when the Mets are in Philadelphia at the Vet. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. Home plate umpire Larry Van Over doing a fine job tonight. 2-1 pitch. Thompson hits a fly ball down the left field line. Foul.
You know, hitters can tell you how they feel about certain pitchers. Down on the field today when we were talking to some of the Houston players, they were all very pleased that they were going to miss Brett Saberhagen this go round.
Sure.
It's that's a real compliment to the pitcher that they're really pleased they're missing.
2-2 pitch. Up high, ball 3. You see behind the backstop, Drayton McClain on the left of your screen. He was watching that pitch, holding his breath. 3-2 on Milt Thompson. Up high, ball 4. Astros have the tying run on first base.
And Orlando Miller's going back to the dugout. We're going to see another pinch hitter.
We just saw Drayton McClain. Ran into Drayton
Probably James Mooten or Tony Eusebio, the catcher. Okay.
Ran into Drayton McClain coming into the ballpark.
Your attention, please. Pitch running for Thompson.
Bagwell.
Number 6,
Drayton McClain
James
saw my
Mooten.
briefcase. He said, "Is there money in that?" I said, "No, you got all the money." He said, "No, I don't." He points at Jeff Bagwell. He said, "He's got all the money."
So Eusebio will be the pinch hitter.
Pitch hitting for the shortstop, Miller. Number 20, Tony Eusebio.
Tony Eusebio, who is in the running for the starting job here as the catcher, is the batter.
There's Mouton. Chateau Mouton. He's in there.
So speed on first. Eusebio takes a strike. 0-1. He's batting .429, as I mentioned. The Astros are thinking about him as their #1 catcher. Scott Service has had the job so far this year. The 0-1 pitch. Fouls the ball off to the right, out of play. How about Eusebio standing at the plate? Reminds you a little bit of Rico Cardi.
He's a big guy.
Well, he's got that bat in his hand, leaning over the plate. Look at Matt Galante, the third base coach, flashing signs.
Rico Cardi was a heck of a hitter, boy.
Oh.
Strong.
And the 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, hit to third base. Nice play, Bobby Phenia across the infield in time. So Bobby Phenia, great reaction to a bad hop. Flips the ball across the infield in the final out of the ball game. The Mets winning a pitcher's duel here at the Astrodome. Bobby Jones doing the job, and then Doug Henry.
That is one happy manager. Here's a look at the play. Tough play. Hit that mud, came up on Phenia, made a good reaction, turns. The long throw to first base. And the Mets make it 2 in a row.
So the Mets winning a close one here at the Astrodome. Final score, there's the line score. 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors for the Mets. No runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Astros. Now let's go back to Bob Papa in our Game Time studios. Bob?
Fran, at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees getting pounded in Game 1 of their 2-game series with the Cleveland Indians. We'll have the highlights, all the baseball scores, and the Rangers have advanced in the Stanley Cup playoffs. All that and more when we come back. Plus, we'll get you back to Houston after this timeout. The New York Mets win their 2nd in a row, 1-0, the final score in the Astrodome.
Oh, there's the final line score. Mets 1, Astros nothing. A well-pitched ball game here at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. And we have a Bud play of the game, an exciting play involving a runner and a catcher, Rusty.
Yes, we do. It was the Budweiser play of the game. Brett Butler at the plate. Chris Jones is on at second base there. You see him leaning, going toward third base. Center fielder Bell has got a nice arm. Makes a decent throw to the plate. Jones showing good speed and good contact. He jolts Service, who was blocking home plate. That was the only run of the game.
And our guest now is Chris Jones. And Chris, you hammered Scott Service at home plate. What was going through your mind when you were going from third to home?
Well, most likely just trying to score. Before contact, I had already touched the plate, but he had his foot in there. He had his foot in there, so.
Yeah, he's got that foot right in your face.
My foot's right there, and then we already had made contact, so I was safe no matter what.
Chris, what was your day like yesterday when you found out that you were coming to the major leagues with the Mets?
Well, they fooled me down there and tried to tell me that I had did something wrong for a couple of days, and then finally told me I was going to Houston. But it was a great feeling. I mean, I grew up watching the Mets my whole life, living up in Liverpool, New York, and it was a great feeling putting this uniform on today.
Well, you put it on very well. A couple of hits. You have to feel very encouraged about being in that lineup again tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, hopefully I can just only get better.
Were you surprised you were in the lineup tonight?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I only had maybe an hour and a half sleep, and I was on the flight over here because we had an early game. We had I was in Ottawa, Canada, and I had to go from Ottawa to Toronto and then to Houston, so it was rough.
But it worked out well, didn't it?
Yeah.
You'd do it again, wouldn't you, if you get 2 hits and get the big leagues?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, Chris, thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it. You saw our Budweiser play of the game. We'll be back.
Sports Channel has Game Time.
Game Time has Bob Papa.
Bob Papa has the scores,
The highlights.
the updates.
Game Time has Jig.
Eddie,
And Stan.
Peter,
and Mike.
Phil,
Spencer.
Matt,
Fran.
Rusty,
And Ralph.
exclusive interviews,
The players.
the coaches.
The stories inside the game.
Game Time.
It's up to date.
It's a pre-game show.
It's the source for scores and info.
Game Time.
30 minutes prior to the game.
That's the time.
The Sports Authority Game Time.
Game Time.
Only on Sports Channel.
Back here at the Dome in Houston, Texas, the Mets victorious in the ball game tonight, 1-0 over the Houston Astros. And Rusty Staub, the Mets have to be ecstatic over the outing by Bobby Jones, once again pitching well.
He's looked good all year long. The whole starting staff, except for Hakami, who's going to get a chance to show that pretty soon here. He's going to pitch in this series tomorrow night. They have gone out and pitched very well, 6 or 7 innings all the way through.
Well, Bobby Jones is our Texaco star of the game, so congratulations to Bobby. And Bobby has just earned a point in the race to become the MetLife Player of the Year. So congratulations, Bobby Jones. And let's not forget Doug Henry.
Doug Henry did a fine job, got a save. And I'll tell you what, the game was so well pitched on both sides of the fence. It's almost a shame for any starting pitcher who pitched as well as Jones is not to win. But you got Shane Reynolds, who pitched just as well. He had 5 strikeouts, no walks. He hasn't walked a batter this entire season.
So well-pitched ball game here at the Astrodome, but that wraps it up. The first game of this 3-game series. Final score once again 1-0. We will step away.